in the first century. And of course, today we don't have to confront a lot of things that the first century church had to confront. See, we could use all this modern technology to reach people, which they didn't have. And unfortunately, we are not using it properly for the advancement of our nation, for the advancement of the good news that God gave us. We simply allow the devil to advance his agenda, and he's taking full advantage of it. Of course, Bahamians, you know, I told you we need your support for the radio show, and I told you to send me an email. 10,000 of you out there who are listening right now, send that email to me today. The State of the Nation 242 at gmail.com. A lot of you say you love Professor Sidney McGarr of Walter Thompson. And that's good. You like what is being said. You appreciate what's being said. But Bahamians, it costs funding to keep us on the air. That is why we need your sponsorship support. That is very important. And so I want to remind you about that. You send that email to stateofthenation242 at gmail.com. Please put your telephone numbers and contacts on that email. I have my people working on some of them right now. We will get in touch with you. We've had some slight delays, but you know, the team is small, but we're working as quickly as we can. But we need more strength. We need more support. I told you we need 49 people just to do research. There's a whole lot of information out there, Bahamians, that we have to examine, and the teams have to examine it very carefully. You got to have more eyes than my own to see what is there. Of course, I have to make some decisions on some important things, and that's understandable, particularly when it comes to constitutional law. There is tremendous misinformation out there, and I listen to the talk shows, and I listen to the comments being made. I see what's written in the press, and it's very depressing, Bahamians, because everybody wants to talk about the Constitution, but they don't know what they're talking about. And so in the midst of this flurry, everybody wants to jump on it now. I don't know why, but that's their right, and I'm not knocking them for that. But when you inject your personal views into what the Constitution says, just tell the people that's your personal view. Why can't you do that? When I talk about the Constitution, I don't present no personal views. I don't have none. I want to be constitutionally sound, lock, stock, and barrel. When a team approached me some time ago, more than a year now, and they say, Professor, look at this document and see what you think of it. There were some corrections that had to be made, and that document is from top to bottom, left and right, constitutionally sound. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So I know they're standing on very solid ground. So the thing is that you and I have to know what's going on, and we can be able to do things in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas for the advancement of the nation. The nation has trouble, it has problems, it has difficulties after 52 years as an independent nation. Some mistakes we made. Those mistakes have to be corrected. And so a lot of you have to understand how to correct those mistakes, how to help your leaders, your national leaders, your constituency leaders, to guide them, to help them along the way. Now, of course, I understand in Israel they're having a lot of trouble in the Gaza Strip. Hundreds of thousands of people are being asked to evacuate because Israel is going to go on all assault against Hamas. They look at Hamas as a terrorist group. And Bahamians, a lot of people are running for their lives. See, we don't want nothing like that to happen in the Bahamas, you know. We ain't got no 300,000 to wait with. You knock off a couple of people, we miss them. You knock off one or two, we miss them, Bahamians. You see how terrible it is out there in the world? In some other places, you got hundreds of thousands of people demonstrating in the streets, burning the buildings, torching them. They're all in frustration. That's carnal nature, by the way. We got carnal nature the same way they have. We ain't no different from them. But of course, Bahamians have a temperament that is different from what those other people have. From 1729 right on up to now, we have shown that we can peacefully transition from one administration to the next. Why don't we keep that? Let's sell that to the world. That one fact itself, everybody wants to come to the Bahamas to live. And when they come in here, they want to stay. They say they want a little visit for 1 week. They stay a month. They stay 2 months. And you got to watch them now. You got to tell them now you got to go home. But if we don't have strong restrictions in place and we are checking on these people, this is the job for immigration. Immigration, you got to do your job. Because these people will stay here. They like the peace and tranquility, even though we got little problems here and there. They don't mind that. They like the peace and tranquility we have in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. Do not sell that to anyone. That peace and tranquility is for Bahamians. Now, when you come as a visitor, you visit here. When your visit is up, you go back home. Now, my special guest today, we have Mr. Eddie Victor and also Mr. Dwayne Hyler on the show today as my special guest. We appreciate them coming on. And we're going to talk about what's happening in Grand Bahama. Mr. Eddie Victor is in Grand Bahama. Some things have been happening in Grand Bahama. And I said, the Grand Bahama people, you have got to be well organized on the ground. Same thing have to be done with the people in New Providence and the Family Islands. Bahamians, that is a mistake we have been making for too long. How do you get people to be organized? You organize people according to your Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. That's the only document that could pull us together. Do you understand how serious that is? Mm-hmm. No political party could organize the Bahamian people, not even a church. Do you understand how serious this is? See, the Constitution allows for churches, it allows for political parties. So we ain't getting into that. Are you all citizens and residents? Well, let me deal with the citizens first. Citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. Genuine citizens now. I ain't talking about them people who got scraps of paper talking about their citizens. That's a different group. You just put them on the boat, put them on the plane, whatever, go home where you belong. That's how you deal with that. That's immigration now. Immigration has to get serious about sending these people from whence they came. You got to tell them you can't stay here. The Bahamas is for who? The Bahamians. And I heard some people were talking about what is a Bahamian. You mean to tell me after 52 years as a nation, you don't know what a Bahamian is? How we get like this? I heard someone said someone born a Bahamian. Born in the Bahamas, that makes him a Bahamian. That's a fallacy. Come on, Bahamians. We got to do better than that. But anyhow, let me get to my special guest because I'll talk till Christ comes back. We got Dwayne Hyler here, Mr. Eddie Victor in Grand Bahama. Mr. Eddie Victor, welcome to Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network. Mr. Dwayne Hyler, welcome to Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network. We are grateful to have you on the show today. Go ahead, Brother Hyler.
Yes, Professor, like you said, in addition to myself, we have Pastor Eddie Victor and also Pastor Ricardo Davis. Both of them are gonna come in shortly. But I wanted to, on this Hot Topics Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's a lot of hot topics going on in Nassau,
yes,
in New Providence, and in other family islands as well.
Yes.
Good day, Bahamas, and good day, Grand Bahama. It seems like Grand Bahama is at the forefront once again. And there's big drama on Grand Bahama. Professor, yesterday, and it made the headlines this morning as well in the newspapers, but on Grand Bahama, there were mass disconnections of electricity yesterday on Grand Bahama, and it sent shock waves through Grand Bahama yesterday.
Yes.
And that's basically what we wanted to take a look at today.
No,
we do have an early caller, and I'll read directly from the newspaper as we get going.
Well, let's
But-
take the caller. If the
Yes.
caller's online, Mr. Producer, the caller online. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please, quickly.
Hi, Professor.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
I just wanted, before you get on to Grand Bahama, to talk about the immigration, because you know that I understand in the schools they're asking for the teachers to now learn Creole. And they're saying that because the teachers have observed that there are high numbers of students that come there that cannot speak English.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're noticing that even those at the pre-K level, they come and they can't speak English, and their behavior problems that they're observing with them. And I'm trying to figure out, Professor, why is it that we always have to lower our standards to accommodate them,
That's a
and
good
they
question.
can't come up or rise up to our standards?
Yes,
Why is
ma'am.
it?
That's a good question. I'm gonna answer that as best as I can when you finish.
Okay, I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now here's something that we need to understand. And I'm going to try and get the Minister of Education in here to tell us about not only that, but some other important things that I've noticed in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Because we have been lowering our standards for too long now. We're to be a nation under God. If the standards are below what God says, there's no standards at all. That's point number one. Point number two, we have some specific things that are mentioned in the Constitution. No administration from July the 10th, 1973, that's when we had independence. No administration running the country has ever dealt with those principles that have to be concerned about preserving the freedoms that we have earned, well, let's say passed on to us by our mothers and fathers who fought for them. We didn't fight for them, Bahamians. It was people with my mother and father and those generations before them that really had the real fight. I came in on the tail end of it.
Mhm.
And so they were the real fighters ahead of us. But to answer the lady's question,
Mhm.
we ought not to be lowering our standards because we are to be a nation under God. And it would appear as if, see, this is what I keep saying to us as a people. If you don't tell the people you send and you give power to and correct them, they continue on as if it's okay, but it's not okay. And the reason why we are in this predicament is because too many of you are not organized. And the lady asked some very good questions, and I appreciate those questions. The point is, Bahamians, you've got to be well organized on the ground in your constituencies where you live. And the only document that could pull all these people together as one is the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's the people's document, Bahamians. That's not a political party document. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. You leave out the Constitution. Everybody on the radio talking about the Constitution, purporting to talk about the Constitution, purporting to give information about the Constitution. All of it, 99% of it is false. I listen to the crap, and I get vexed every single day when I hear unscrupulous people purporting to talk about this document, which they know nothing about. Nothing whatsoever. And that infuriates me. Because too many of you are being misled and say, this is why we told you to support what is being done here on this radio station. You give us the support, the financial support, the strength that we need, we can get the job done. But you can't sit out there and say, oh, yes, I listen to Professor, I like what he's saying, but you don't put your money where your mouth is, Bahamians. That's not going to work. So now I can tell you, send me 10,000 or more of you today. Send me that email, please. It is urgently needed now, today. The State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. Let me get my team waking, man. They're ready to wake. So don't hold up on the emails. Put your phone numbers on those emails. We got a few of them yesterday, but it was no near 10,000. I want 10,000 or more who will say, Professor, we're going to support what you're doing and your team is doing at Global Radio. That's what we want. That's what we need, Bahamians. The lady asked some very important questions. We've got to do a whole lot of research. We've got to do a whole lot of interviews. We got to get out there and get the information because you know they got what is called artificial intelligence, right? AI, as they call it. So some people you just can't take what they say. You got to go and check it out. So what do you want me to do? Take the crap from them and then bring the crap on the radio to you? I'm not going to do that. So as of the day, now this is the 16th, 2 days before my birthday. And of course, I'm selling my birthday all the way to October the 18th. I'm looking for my gifts present, Bahamian. Now, see, you could do it right from your house. You know, you ain't got to come out your house. We got all this technology around here. You just send me that email, say, Professor, I want to send my birthday gift in. We'll tell you exactly how to do that. All right? And of course, we want to support the show now. That the birthday gift is different from the show. Don't mix the two of them up now. The birthday gift, that's personal. For the show, that's business. Your sponsorship is business. That goes in a separate area altogether. Because we have to give an account for these funds, Bahamians. It's serious business. Every single dollar has to be accounted for. And that's why we try to be responsible with you. And make sure that when we give any information, the information is solid, it's compact, it is right on target. Brother Hyler, go ahead.
Good day once again, Bahamas, and welcome for those that are just tuning in. We have also with us Pastor Eddie Victor, and I want to read a headline. Actually, the headline in today's paper is concerning the airport, that certain plans came to a halt. But right underneath that, a very important situation is developing. And it reads, irate Grand Bahama Power Company customers line up to get power reconnection. That's how the story begins.
Okay.
And it says, scores of frustrated residents lined up outside the Grand Bahama Power Company on Monday to pay their bills following widespread electricity disconnections. Customers said they did not receive prior notice before their power was cut and scrambled to restore service as a huge crowd gathered at the company's headquarters on Pioneers Way over in Grand Bahama, where some waited for hours to make payment. Now, it's best to let Pastor Victor go ahead and tell us what he would have experienced. I saw a video that Pastor Victor would have posted, and then I saw a second one that Pastor Ricardo Davis would have posted concerning what was taking place yesterday. But social media was it was an uproar online.
Yes.
So we welcome to the show out of Grand Bahama, Pastor Eddie Victor.
Good.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Good afternoon to each of you, and thank you for giving me this time to come online and to join you on this show today. Yes. Yes. Yesterday was just another sad moment in the whole history of this power company that is owned by Emera, a Canadian company, a foreign company, I must say. And this is just another clear example that Grand Bahama needs another power company. And I know the paper may have said scores, but based on my best educated estimate, it was hundreds of customers.
I saw photos also, Pastor. Yes.
Hundreds of customers. So much so that the company was overwhelmed, having to employ the use of security officers to assist. Hear what I'm going to say, to assist the customers. I even had one of their security personnel when I heard about all this disconnection, I said, you know what, let me make sure and go and pay my bill. It's a struggle for our
Mm,
people on Grand Bahama
mm.
just to pay the bill before this sharp increase in the fuel
So,
surcharge.
so tell us specifically about this fuel surcharge, because we understand, we know that there was a request for an electricity rate increase, but
Yes,
that was not allowed.
right, right.
Now we are still hearing that there's a very sharp increase in the electricity bills. Tell us more about that.
Okay, firstly, um, the Grand Bahama Power Company made an application to increase the electricity rates. In specifically, it refers to the tariff rates, a schedule of rates that are charged based on your use of kilowatt hours. And so there's literally like a scale. And so um, last year, we were having frequent power outages, and the company finally admitted that they were load shedding. What had happened was is that the company has supposed to have nine um, generators functioning, and four of their generators um, failed. In fact, the best term to call it was a catastrophic failure, because it's
Mhm.
not just that something went wrong and it just went down for a time. It was a catastrophic failure that was due to bad management decisions when it came to maintenance. So what happened now is that with these frequent power outages that were going out, and it used to be a time when you could say, oh, we got reliable power in Grand Bahama. We can't say that no more.
Mm,
Okay.
And so what happened is that, and this was in the summer months of last year. And so the Port Authority told the power company that they suspended the rate application and said to them, you need to get this power generation problem solved.
mm,
And so they brought in these additional temporary generation units, Greco units,
mm.
and they did stabilize it at that time. But the most important thing to look at is that they had four generators
Mm.
that failed to
Wow.
the extent that these generators required massive repair work. And at the same time, there are two solar plants that are
Mhm.
connected to the grid.
Okay.
So I want you to see this picture. You have two solar plants connected to the grid. Four of your generators failed, and you have to resort to load shedding. This goes back to even further when we look at the plant historically. We knew um, just over 10 years ago, we knew that the Grand Bahama Power Company could not handle peak load capacity. This is 10 years ago. In other words, if all the customers were to cut on their power at the same time, they couldn't handle it.
Right.
And so, and when I say cut on their power at the same time, I'm talking about running their air conditions in the plant.
Conditions and everything. Yes.
They couldn't handle it. We knew that. The government knew that. And so now, because you have not been properly maintaining your generators, you had this catastrophic failure in the summer months because people started cutting on all their ACs and everything. And because you didn't maintain your generators,
Hmm.
you did not maintain the generators. There was a failure. But here's the thing: the regulatory regime requires that the customers, the power company can recover their cost of expenses in their charges. And so, in other words, they make a bad decision and did not maintain their generators, which is their business to generate electricity.
Mhm.
And now you can charge us to
The
pay
people,
for your bad decisions.
so the people are made to pay.
The people are made to pay. It does not make sense.
So
Not
the
from a simplified business model, it don't make sense. You
understood.
know,
So we've been hearing some shocking numbers. Is it true, that the bills are as much as doubled or more? I mean,
it's absolutely correct.
what?
Absolutely correct. Yeah, yeah. And then and I want you to also look at the other factors that affect this bill too. Firstly, they put up the fuel surcharge up drastically. They put up that rate, that charge.
Mhm.
So, what has been happening for the past couple of months? The fuel surcharge is higher than the electricity charge.
Now, Pastor Victor, we need to underscore that now.
Yeah,
We,
that's
we,
exactly what it is. You look at the bill, you see that your fuel surcharge is higher than your electricity charge.
wow.
And it doesn't stop there. This is where the added cost comes in.
Hmm.
On top of that, you have a storm recovery charge that's being
Yeah,
charged
I
to you.
thought of that as well.
And top of that, a
Hmm.
VAT is charged.
Wow.
So here's the scenario. Um, the more that your bill increases, your VAT
Your
increases.
VAT increases proportionately.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so this is where further pain is inflicted on the
Yes.
consumer,
Wow.
especially our residential customers, but the businesses are being affected
Yes.
even to a greater degree.
Yes.
And you have to understand that the business environment in Grand Bahama is not the best.
Hmm.
The business environment, um, business people have had to be very skillful,
Hmm.
resilient. They have to adapt, and I must commend what I've seen business owners have done in order to survive in this economy. So when you have a a restaurant, I'll give you one example. Restaurant that's been in business for, if I'm correct, they've been in business for maybe 50 years. This restaurant,
Wow. Wow.
okay. This if this restaurant it tells me that the highest bill they've ever gotten in the history of being in business, they got an $11,000 electricity bill.
Pastor, I have to stop you right there because we
Mhm.
have to go to a break. Uh,
Okay.
Thank you very much. Just hang
Okay.
on the line. Don't go anywhere. This is
Okay.
Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. We're getting some shocking information. I heard about four different charges being added to your bill in
Yes.
Grand Bahama, and I'm very disturbed about that. We're going to get back to our special guests who are on the line now. We're going to go to this break. And of course, you who are in the audience, you can call in because this is extremely important. Why I've been trying to get you to understand the real purpose of organizational structure. You have to organize yourselves, Bahamians, because it could get far worse than what it is now. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express yourself live. We'll return 272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM, Bahamians. This is a great day to be alive in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. And of course, I told you today being the 16th, my sister-in-law, it's her birthday today. She married my baby brother, or he married her, let me put it that way, because the man is in charge. No offense to you women out there, but that's what the man told me. The man is the head of the family, so I got to go with him. And of course, my birthday is on September the 18th, so Bahamians, you know, I'm looking for my gifts, my birthday gifts, and you could send me an email, the State of the Nation 242@gmail.com, and also your support for the radio station, supporting the program, supporting some other things that we have to do off air. And let me say this to the people in the Bahamas in general. There are times when people may take up a cause and they begin to fight for the general good of the Bahamian people. And a lot of you just sometimes sit back and allow these people to suffer. I know of a particular personality in Grand Bahama who told me very specifically what had happened to that particular person. Bahamians, you got to pull together, man. We got to see that. This electricity affects all of you on the ground. And you can't be pulling and hauling. Of course, it has to have leadership in it now. And I think you got some capable people in Grand Bahama who can take care of these matters, but they need your strong support, Bahamians. Same thing with us on the radio station here. People say, Professor, you're doing a good job. That's fine. That's all well and good. But we need your strong financial support because there are some things that we have to do in order to save this place. Otherwise, we might lose it. I don't think we could afford it. After 52 years as an independent nation, yes, a whole lot of things went down over that 52-year span, which were not good for the Bahamian people. But a lot of you said you didn't know about the Constitution. You didn't know this, you didn't know that. Fine. That's water under the bridge now. As of the 16th of September, which is 2 days before my birthday, I want to have a good birthday, you know. If I could get you to turn things around, I can have a successful September the 18th. And I'm celebrating my birthday all the way to October the 18th. So you got plenty of time to put your birthday gifts together, because I'm looking forward to that, as some of you did last year. I want more of you to do it this year, all the way to October the 18th. The email is the State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. Make sure you put your phone numbers on those emails. I need to get my team moving and working on these things. But we need your strong support. Go ahead, Brother Hyla.
Yes, once again, for those that are just tuning in or didn't hear from the beginning, we are speaking with Pastor Eddie Victor out of Grand Bahama, and he was telling us about the mass disconnections that have taken place yesterday. I just want to read a response just so that we report in a fair and balanced way. The Grand Bahama Power Company has ceased disconnections. They're saying, and this is a quote from them, "We understand the recent disconnections have caused significant frustration and disruption for many of our customers. We know how important electricity is to every household and business, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this has caused."
Wait a minute now. Wait, hold on.
Mhm.
Is that the end of the statement?
No.
Okay, go. Let me let
Okay,
you finish that,
okay.
and I'll comment on it.
Our normal process is to provide clear communication prior to disconnections for non-payment, and we recognize that this step was not executed in this instance.
Is that the end of it?
They are reviewing their internal processes to ensure customers receive proper notice in the future, and we will ensure that notice is communicated in advance before disconnecting for non payment. One more thing quickly, Professor.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I have to add that on their website, one of their customers wrote to them and said, "Y'all broke my heart today. Trust me." That's a customer
Yes.
responding to the power company's website.
Yeah.
That was the response.
Now,
Go ahead,
you know, I take exception to the remarks that the company is making. You know why?
Why is that?
Notice how they phrase these things. You see, a lot of people don't understand these things, how they phrase it. An apology is not good enough. People have lost, damage to their equipment, loss of foodstuffs.
Mhm.
Who's going to pay for that? Are they going to pay for it? Is the Grand Bahama Power Company going to pay these people for damages? Say an apology is not good enough, and the people of Grand Bahama ought to tell them that.
Mhm.
I heard someone in the government,
Mhm.
you know, in another matter. We're going to deal with that at a
Mhm.
later time.
Loss
Talk
of-
about an apology, man.
Mhm. Loss of revenue for the businesses.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You, Behemoth, you can't just sit back and allow these entities to keep walking on you, mashing you up, slapping you in your back, kicking you in your face, and talking about apology. Give me a break, man.
Mhm. Mhm. Pastor Victor was telling us of one particular restaurant before we went to the break.
Yes, he did.
Pastor Victor, tell us, you were saying that this one particular restaurant, in the history of their 50 or plus year existence, their highest electricity bill would have been about $11,000. Tell us more about
Well,
that.
yes, well, that company, what they were telling me, that this was the highest bill they've ever gotten in the history of their company.
Mm.
And so now this is a business that is closed on Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
That closes at 7 p.m. every day they open.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you that backdrop to understand
Okay.
the scope of this bill
Mm.
was so huge that now this forces them to now have to make some adjustment in order to pay the bill.
Now, Pastor, I just have a question on that. Did they give you a time period when this, I mean, what it covered? Was it a month? Was it 2 months? Whatever.
Essentially, it would appear from what we have gathered
Yes.
that the disconnection that took place, if you were owing money for last month
Okay.
and you have a new bill, you are cut off.
All
What?
right.
Say that again.
I'm saying it to you. If you did not pay the bill for last month and your new bill comes off, you were disconnected.
Wow.
Right?
That's basically in a
Wow.
1 month period.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I just wanted to point that out.
Now, here's the thing that, and I make reference to that statement that was made by the Grand Bahama Power Company, Professor. You commented on that.
I did.
Let me say this. We even though they've given an apology, which only came about because of the complaints and the discomfort that their customers experienced. It didn't come about because you made a conscious decision from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Okay. See, this is what you have to cut through all of this
No, you
smoke.
got to cut through all the crap.
Yeah, and that's what's going on. You know, you got to cut through that. It reveals the insensitivity of the company.
That's correct.
When it comes to dealing with its customers. And part of the reason is that it's a 100% foreign owned company. One of the things that I noticed, and Professor, and your team, I know you can identify with this in the sense of what you may have seen in the rest of the country.
Yes.
What we have noticed in the past couple of months is that the persons now making these announcements about the power, especially when there was great uproar about the increase in the fuel surcharge, we noticing that the person making the press announcements for the power company, we don't see any Bahamians making the announcements.
Okay.
Um, all of a sudden, we're seeing this woman that I don't remember seeing her ever. Obviously, she's not a Bahamian, but she is now making all of these press announcements for the power company.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, it just reveals to us the insensitive nature of this power company. And another thing that was also surprising during uh, this process, or this time that we're in with the power company, is that the head of the power company, um, in addressing the sharp increase in the fuel surcharge, is 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 giving the Bahamian public, or the Grand Bahamian public, a lecture on what they need to do to conserve power.
Interesting.
And it's like, it- it-
Mm.
you don't need to go and overemphasize conservation of power. Grand Bahamians already know that. Okay,
Yes.
Mhm.
and so the question comes into what is considered a comfortable lifestyle for a customer. And I can say what should be accepted as a standard is that with the high temperatures we've been experiencing before summer,
Right. Before
and
summer.
then going into summer,
Going in summer is worse.
right? Um, it should be considered that the average person should be able to have a cool room
Mm.
in their home and be able to afford to pay for it.
Yes.
But when you have these high prices, that has resulted from the billing of the power company, uh, which we've already talked about. The fuel surcharge is higher than
And the
the
actual bill.
electricity rate, the tariff rate.
Mhm.
Now, I want to put something to you. I want you to think about this. If you look at the bill and your fuel surcharge is higher than the actual electricity charge. Now, the electricity charge is supposed to cover the operation of the power plant.
Yeah.
Okay? It's supposed to cover all its operation. And then you have a fuel surcharge that you're saying is a 100% pass through. Then you're saying to me that my fuel surcharge, that what I'm paying and everyone is paying, is higher than what will be your operational costs for your company. That doesn't make sense.
No, it
Mm.
doesn't.
It absolutely makes no sense. Okay, and so something is wrong, right? Somebody's calculator is not working, or it's deliberately not working. All right,
Mhm.
and so it doesn't make sense. And I like to add to that, it doesn't make dollars or cents.
Yes.
Okay, and so this is where we at, and because you do not have a true regulatory regime that protects the consumer, this is where the problem is. This is a further problem,
Well,
because you can't you can't complain and get justice.
Yes.
I must commend something though. Last year, I got to commend the Port Authority for putting brakes on the rate application.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, I gotta put them, because they really answered the call there.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
here is something else, that not only in this situation, but we have probably seen this elsewhere in the country, where you have foreigners seeking to dictate to governments or other agencies
Mm.
how things ought to happen, or how
Mhm.
things should take place when it comes to their situation. And
Understood.
And in this case, I believe that the Grand Bahama Port Authority is being strong-armed by the Grand Bahama Power Company,
Mm.
being strong-armed,
Yes.
being coerced
Mm.
to giving them the requested rate application, because they are communicating to the public and to the Grand Bahama Port Authority
Mm.
that they need this increase in order to make the necessary investments to upgrade their system. That's what
Okay.
they're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Pastor Victor, you have been championing this cause. I didn't realize it until the last time we interviewed you, and I did the research for that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I was coming across articles from 2012, and I mean, you have gone on record in press statements recommending that the government allow competition in the market,
Yes.
which is reasonable.
Yes.
And number two, that they do not allow continuous rate increases
I believe,
from this electric company.
I believe we have a call on
Yes,
the line.
Pastor Victor, we do have a caller.
Okay.
We're going to
We'll just
entertain
take the
that caller.
and-
Yes.
Okay, caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hyder.
Good day,
and your
good day.
Special guest.
That sound like the Patriot.
Yeah,
This is
Patriot
Patriot
number
number seven.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm listening to you all intently,
Yes.
but if my memory serves me correct, I think this fuel surcharge deal was introduced around the 92, 93, when Mr. Ingram took over the reins of power.
Yes. Okay.
Is that correct?
You may
Well-
be correct. Yes.
And I think there was an argument back then questioning the validity of a fuel surcharge on the citizen.
That's
Because
correct.
that's like going to the gas station, telling you want $10 gas, you're paying for the fuel, and they tell you $5 more while pumping the gas and all kind of other things.
Yes.
Is the fuel surcharge legal and lawful? I'll hang up on that.
You asked a very good question. I have to really research
Yeah.
that one.
But Pastor Victor, you want to comment on that? I'll comment after.
Well, let me. This is what I would comment on. No, the regulatory regime that has been set up in Grand Bahama, and it's similar to what even is in Nassau and in other jurisdictions around the world. They're using this model where the expenses of the power company, the rates are set in such a way to ensure that they get the monies that they spend for the general operation, the monies that is spent on fuel, that's to go back to them, and listen to this carefully. It's set up to ensure that the power company makes a profit. Okay,
Mm.
and
Okay.
so this is why it's worrisome to us that you make mistakes, we pay for it.
Mm.
No, that is worrisome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the regulatory regime should say, if you made these bad decisions, I mean,
Yeah.
a true regulatory regime that protects the consumer.
Mhm.
What should happen is, I look at the maintenance. I see that you made some bad decisions. Your company needs to eat that expense.
Yes.
Understood. Understood.
Don't put it on the backs of Grand Bahama.
Right.
So I can say this, and I'll go on record, that a part of the economic challenge on this island
Mm.
is due to the high cost of electricity being generated from Grand Bahama Power Company.
Okay.
And so when we go back historically, this is important because you mentioned on the Ingram and 1993,
Right.
this company Amera was brought into this country, brought to Grand Bahama, I am told, and it was brought under the administration of Prime Minister Hubert Ingram.
Okay.
Well-
He brought the company. I'm told, and if someone can tell me that I'm not correct, then please, I
Take it
will
back.
stand corrected.
Well,
Yes.
I
this-
was told that
this-
he brought this company to us.
okay, at this point, until further notice, and I'll have to say it this way,
Mhm.
Pastor Victor, I stand to be corrected if I am wrong in this. But you and I had spoken in the past concerning the East End Agreement and the West End Agreement.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Just-
I'll look at that too.
Just briefly, let me qualify this by saying that I stand to be corrected. I could be wrong on this, but the evidence that is coming forward is that under the Hubert Ingram administration,
Yeah.
the same time he set up the Public Utilities Commission, which is the precursor to IRCA.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the Public Utilities Commission was the regulator. The same time they would have set up the structure for the regulatory regime, I have in my hand a copy of the East End Agreement
Good,
and a copy of the West End Agreement
good,
signed by that administration
correct.
Was it-
to give the power, you could say the power over to the Port Authority.
No, take that a little slower now.
Okay,
You got a
yeah.
couple of these in there.
Professor, okay.
Which administration is this now? You got
This-
the paper right in front of you. Who signed that?
This is under
What are the signatures on it?
the signature on it is the minister responsible for electricity
And who's that?
under Hubert Alexander Ingram.
There's the signature of the minister there.
The signature of the minister is there,
And
but
what's the
I
minister-
cannot afford a lawyer at this time to say any more than that.
Well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Allow me to
hold
say.
on, Pastor. Hold on right
Okay,
there.
yes, sir, Professor.
See, that's where I have a problem.
Uh-huh.
If a document is public knowledge,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
And we're discussing it publicly,
Yes, sir.
and the signature is on there, why not say what the signature is? Why not say what the signature is? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand you,
Yeah.
Professor.
You said it was under the Ingram administration. See,
Yes.
this is where I have a problem with this kind of crap.
Mhm.
The public ought to know, because there are people out there who would want to know that too, because I would want to know it, and I'm going to get copies of that.
Right.
But the point is, when something is in the public domain, it ought to be exposed. There should be no holding back. But anyhow, leave that right there. Go ahead.
Okay. So what is happening and why this is so critical for all Grand Bahamians that are listening, for all of the listening audience, the government is supposed to be at all times the regulator for all utilities in the country. So in this agreement, it reads, this agreement is made this 23rd day of June, 1993, between the minister responsible for electricity, acting for and on behalf of the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, by virtue of the powers of authority thereunto, enabling him contained in the Out Islands Electricity Act, Chapter 183. This act likely was never repealed. Pastor Victor, I'm not a lawyer, but why would you have an act alive from 1993 and then come to 2024 and create an Electricity Act 2024, and in that act say that the regulator will be the minister responsible for energy in 2024, which happens to be Minister Colby Davis, is our present energy minister. That act, the law specifically says, including the island of Grand Bahama.
Yes. Okay.
So there's a conflict right there. You don't have to dwell on this,
Yeah.
but the point is there's a conflict.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now, Professor, before we go to break, we go on a break in a minute or so, and perhaps I don't know if we'll get to this after, but in case the listening audience did not know, Pastor Victor, the Tribune reported on September the 4th, 2025,
Yes.
Grand Bahama arbitration talks to begin.
Yes, it is.
The government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority to start discussions over that $357 million dispute.
Yes.
And it says Freeport's fate is set to be determined by 2 weeks of arbitration hearings, which would have be launched on the Monday following this report.
I think that's last Monday.
Last Monday.
Yes. Okay.
So here it is. There are lawyers out of London in New Providence, according to this,
Yes.
determining the fate of whether or not that money is owed, and also who is the regulator, beginning September the 8th.
Yes. So this.
So we'll go to a break from there.
No, we'll
So
go to break. We come back to
what-
it. We'll ask Pastor to comment on
Yeah,
it.
Pastor Victor, why do we have to go to court over who's the regulator?
Good question.
Why do we have to go to court against a company,
That's
against
a-
our government,
That's a good
to
question.
determine who's the regulator? Somebody messed up somewhere.
Yes.
Well, you could see when you
Mm.
go back. See, this is why, and let me just say this before the
Mhm.
break. You go back
Mhm.
to how all this crap started and the personalities involved and the
Mhm.
signatures on documents
Mhm.
which conflict each other. That's
Right.
why I keep saying to people,
Mhm.
listen to what your government is saying and watch what they do.
Okay.
But if you don't have a proper history of what went on before
Mhm.
by successive administrations, there's only one government, and people need to understand that. One government, but successive administrators who have been doing crap on the Bahamian people all this time. And look at the crap we're in now. And you talk about this particular matter that started September 8th. We're going to deal with that later.
Mhm.
This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. The lines are open 326-0272, 813-0271. We'll be back after the break.
of Faith at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The lines are open 326-0272-8130-271. Payments, we have a lot of problems in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and it's most important that you have to go sometimes way back from the very beginning. Look at what has happened under the administrations in this country. See who signed what and understand what was signed, because there are so many contradictions. Even with the laws that are passed in the House of Assembly, there are contradictions and they're not constitutionally sound. But we don't challenge these things. We keep our mouth shut and we run into all kinds of problems, Bahamians. It is the duty of the Bahamian people to correct your leaders when they go wrong. Who else is going to do it if you don't do it? And so we end up with this burden, not only the people of Grand Bahama, the people in New Providence and other parts of the country where you have high costs of electricity. So Grand Bahama, you have a lot of others who are feeling the same problems you're feeling, but so much so over there where you have local government, you got the port government, you got the national government, and then you got the legislature. You got 4 different types of government. But local government's supposed to be an asset. I don't know. Maybe the people of Grand Bahama could tell me whether it is or not. But over here in New Providence, all we got is committees and boards and authorities and this and that and the next thing. I don't know how many there are, but I've seen a lot of them appointed and they're just knocking into one another, getting one another's way. But that's a different cat of fish. Brother Hyler, go ahead.
Yes, Professor, you know, for our government, there was even a news headline at one point that says, who is the government in Grand Bahama?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Who's the government in Grand
Who's the
Bahama?
government?
Who's the regulator? Who's the authority?
regulator? Yes.
Because IRCA is not exerting its authority, or the Grand Bahama Authority is saying IRCA is not in control of that jurisdiction.
That is correct, yeah.
But then IRCA is saying we are.
That's what Urkel said, yes.
IRCA is saying, no, we are the regulator
For the entire Bahamas.
for the entire Bahamas,
That's
including
correct.
Grand Bahama,
Grand Bahama,
including Freeport. And that's where the conflict lies. So
Yes.
now we have a court case within the Bahamian courts.
Yes.
And in addition to that, there was a arbitration launched, which is like a court case with, the newspaper says, London heavyweights.
Yes, that's what it said.
It says UK legal heavyweights to decide Freeport fate. Now think about that.
Yes, I read that.
Think about that. God gave us, it says we, the inheritors and successors, right,
That's what the man
Professor?
told me. Yes, of course. And this is what we try to get people to understand. When you don't know your constitution, see the kind of crap people put on you, and you just sit back and allow it to happen.
We are the authority.
We are.
God gave us the authority,
That's what the book say.
and yet we reading in black and white in the newspaper,
So they can decide.
UK legal heavyweights to decide Freeport fate. So how it get out of our hands?
That's an excellent question.
Man, this almost remind me of the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
How the
Yes.
power get out.
Someone got out of control.
Somebody gone out of control.
That's what happened.
Something went awry.
Let's see if we could get Pastor into this, because he's down in Grand Bahama. Pastor, what do you
He's
say
on the ground. What's
he's on
happening
the
there,
ground? What's
Pastor?
happening there?
Well, let me first address the West End East End agreement between the government and the Grand Bahama Power Company.
Yeah.
And it's good, Professor, that when you look back historically, that you fear, and when I say that, this was the situation that existed before that agreement was signed.
Yes. Okay.
The electricity rate outside of Freeport in West End and East End was more than in the city of Freeport. So so what the government said, that we want the power company to provide the same rate in Freeport to every area of Grand Bahama.
Okay.
And so the genesis and the reasoning of the agreement at that time was good in its intent.
Mm.
But now it's important to also say that with agreements like that, you realize that changes have to be made over a period of time. All
Mm.
right. So since you had power being generated reliably in Freeport, they say now the government, our prime minister said, oh, we want to make sure that everyone on this island enjoys the same rate across the island, and that Freeport's rate is not lower than the rest of the island's rate. So that was good at that time. But that agreement did not anticipate that we would have a mirror in the picture. A company that came in, the power company went through some transitions where they were getting equity partners, a partner that would come in and be willing to invest what was necessary to upgrade the equipment and infrastructure of the power company. So there were a few companies that were equity partners before Emera came into the picture.
Okay.
So Emera comes in. Emera becomes the partner in the power company and has the management of the power company. Now, it's when they took over management of the power company is when the economic structure of the power company changed.
Mm.
All right. That's when it's changed.
Okay. In what way?
And they built this new power plant then, which would have been put online in 2012. This was the West Sunrise Power Plant.
Okay.
They spent $80 million on that plant, and in the agreement, the regulatory framework and operational protocol agreement between the Port Authority and the power company, they built that $80 million plant, and the customers have to pay for that plant. All right. Our understanding, based on our basic, review, that $80 million power plant should have cost $50 million. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And but I'm talking about this power plant because all ties into this agreement.
Okay.
So Ingram has this agreement in place to ensure that the rates being charged in Freeport is the same everywhere else.
Okay.
And so there was wisdom in it. But again, they did not anticipate Emera would come into the picture. So Emera begins to charge these rates that began to upset the economy. It upset the economy. And this is when we began our campaign in 2013, because at that time in 2013, there were hundreds of people living without electricity because they could not afford to pay the power bill. Okay. And you had a situation where people had to make a choice. They either had to pay their rent or pay their mortgage or pay their power. That's how bad it got back then. So we began our campaign to lower the cost of electricity. That's our primary goal: lower the cost of electricity on the island. Because if Grand Bahama is supposed to be an island to attract investors, you check one of the things that investors look into when they're going to go into any country or territory. They look at the cost of electricity.
Okay.
So
definitely.
So Grand Bahama has a reputation of having high electricity rates when investors come in to look. That's
Yes.
the reputation we have.
And we have to add to that, Pastor, not just high cost, but unreliable in terms of the power outages.
It's not unreliable.
That's a devastating combination.
Unreliable, and you wanna know how when a current is unstable, you hook up a any type of electronic clock to it. I have an electronic clock on my stove, and that electronic clock goes ahead by hours.
What?
All right, because the power is unstable. Okay, and as a result, over the last 2 years, people's electronics have been knocked out because of the power.
So
Right.
damage to equipment and appliances.
Yes, I've lost a motor in my fridge because of the power.
Mm.
I just really discovered that I lost a what is called a modulator or something on a microwave
Okay.
because of the power instability. Okay. So, and there's a lot of customers like that, and they're told put in a complaint to
Wow.
the power company.
Do you know of anyone, please, if you're listening?
Yeah.
If you've experienced the damage of equipment on the one side and having that problem addressed, so we want to hear from the other side too. Have you
Yeah.
had equipment damage and the company would have also replaced or somehow satisfied the situation? We need to hear from on the ground other people that are having the same experience.
No, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. So when we look at this agreement, the challenge with this agreement comes into this it comes into play here, that the Port Authority, when they make a decision on the power company concerning any rate application, it also affects the people outside of Freeport.
Okay.
Now, so the first rate application was in 2015. And I can tell you we mounted a very strong campaign along with other sectors of the public. And it caused the Port Authority to delay making a decision on the application because of such a strong opposition.
I recall.
Right?
Yes.
Now, what resulted because of that strong opposition was that they made a decision that they would, through a fuel hedge buying program, that they would keep the fuel surcharge at 10 cents. Okay. So for years, that fuel surcharge was at 10 cents.
Okay.
And this is directly as a result of our advocacy, our public pressure.
Yes, and agitation.
Other partners doing the same thing. The chamber weighed in. The Hotel Owners Association, they weighed in. So there's a lot of opposition. A lot of letters went in. So as a result, they made that decision to keep the fuel surcharge at 10 cents. And that was one victory, but that's not the main thing we were seeking to achieve. We want to get the electricity rate down completely, right?
Yes.
So now this agreement expired in 2018, but there is a right to renew by the power company.
Understood.
So when the government changed and Prime Minister Hubert Minnis became Prime Minister, 30 days after he became Prime Minister, we wrote a letter asking the government to intervene into the electricity situation on this island. We also advocated that they do not renew this agreement.
Mhm.
and allow another power company to provide electricity to West and East Grand Bahama.
I saw your press statement on that. So just to
Yeah.
repeat, you actually and your group
Mhm.
had called on the minister administration to
Yes,
not renew or allow, and now we're back to the East End Agreement and the West End Agreement.
correct. Not to renew it. Not to renew it.
Understood.
Allow another power company to come in, because historically,
Mhm.
electricity was being provided to the West and East by the government years
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're saying, don't renew this agreement.
Yes.
Allow a company to come in. And
Mhm.
here it is. One of the things with being if you're going to be an advocate, you have to you have to come with solutions.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I can make noise, but I
Right.
need to have a solution. Okay.
Understood.
All right.
Understood.
That's-
Excellent.
yeah.
And so what we did is that we brought to the government.
Mhm.
Okay. And at that time, I'm going to say it, all 5 seats, at that time,
Yeah.
was
Red. All it was a red sea
yeah, was a red seat. Yeah, for them government.
in Grand
All
Bahama.
5. All right. So,
That's it, yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and let me tell you something. I
Mm.
gotta commend, many of those members of parliament. They work hard to try to get things done for Grand Bahama, but
Okay.
they wasn't making. You go to cabinet, and cabinet makes a decision.
Understood.
So they really had a heart to get things done, but couldn't get it done.
Okay.
So here it is. We brought a company
Okay.
of 100% owned by Bahamians,
Mhm.
Yeah.
who had all their funding in place. They didn't have to go and ask for. They had it in
Mhm.
place,
Funding available. Wow.
right, to build what is referred to as a firm solar power plant.
Okay.
They would build one in West Grand Bahama and one in East Grand Bahama.
Okay.
And a firm solar power plant means this: not only am I generating electricity from solar energy, I have propane generators
Mhm.
that would come online to generate electricity at night.
Okay.
So um, this company was brought to the government.
Okay.
This company made an application to the government.
Mhm.
They have all their funding in place,
Mhm.
and they were never allowed to make a full presentation to the government.
Wow.
Okay.
Bahamians.
Bahamians now. All right. Bahamians. All right. And let me go further.
Mm.
So when we went through the regular process, because when I say we, I am bringing someone to the table. I'm
Yes.
not a part of the company. I'm
Okay.
trying to bring a solution.
Okay.
Right.
I'm
Understood.
trying to bring down the cost of electricity as
Yes.
an advocate.
That's good.
Yes.
They were promising to bring down the cost of electricity in West and East Grand Bahama as much as 40%. Okay? Hear
Wow.
what I'm saying? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm
All right.
listening.
All right. Now, um, I even through advice was told how to make a request to directly to the cabinet for this group to be allowed to make a presentation.
Mhm.
I got a letter from the government. A
Mhm.
letter came to the company
Okay.
stating that we will be making arrangements for you to make a presentation.
Okay.
This is 2018.
Okay.
It's now 2025.
Right.
It never happened.
Wow.
Bahamians.
Bahamians.
So what's going on? What's really going on
Hmm.
is that there are certain industries in this country
Mm.
that's being kept for certain groups of people.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
This is what's happening.
All right.
Okay. So here it is. You had a Bahamian group make
Yes.
their presentation.
Yes.
Now in Grand Bahama, in Freeport,
Uh-huh.
we got 2 solar farms,
We heard about those.
right? And
Yeah.
there's another solar farm that's being built
Okay.
in Freeport. But yet, a Bahamian group,
Mhm.
these are former engineers, former managers.
Okay.
One even served on the BEC board. They all used to work for Grand Bahama Power Company. They
Okay.
all were part of the early days of the initial setting up of the company. So they come in with wealth of experience
Wealth
and
of experience.
experience.
Yes.
They live on Grand Bahama,
Okay.
and our government never entertained them.
Okay.
All right.
Ah, boy.
Right. And so what happened was that when the government changed, apparently the F&M government at that time, and I don't, I'm not a political person, but I'm just saying that was who was in charge. This was under the minister administration. Apparently gave the go ahead for that agreement to continue.
And that's for 25 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just telling you, that's my understanding, because when the government changed, I did approach the government.
Okay.
I said, hey, this agreement,
Mhm.
was it renewed or whatever? And the message I got back was that apparently the last administration went ahead with it, or gave the consent for it to
Okay.
continue.
Now
And
I have to underscore this, Pastor
Yeah.
Victor.
yes,
They gave the go ahead to continue. They gave an extension,
right.
but yet y'all were experiencing power outages and poor service.
Exactly.
That's
And
what I
so,
wanted to highlight.
yeah, and exactly.
No, man.
So you got to realize what has happened,
Mhm.
right? If you go back, and you can go back over, it's all there. If you go back, what you would see is that this company really has become an unreliable power company,
Okay.
and they are seeking to make profits, and more profits on the back of an economy that cannot bear no more.
Understood.
And so the question comes about regulation.
Hmm.
So in our interpretation, and our discussions with persons who have the legal mind to interpret things, you make an agreement. So if you, well, I got to say this: the Hawksbill Creek review that was done,
Mhm.
and a memorandum was signed between the government and the Port Authority. One of the things in that memorandum was that the Port Authority would seek to ensure that all regulatory requirements that are followed in the rest of the country would take place in Freeport. So they signed this agreement.
Hmm.
The next thing you see is in 2016 that the 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 Grand Bahama Power Company, along with the Port Authority, files an action in Supreme Court challenging IRCA's right to regulate them.
Okay.
You hear what I'm saying?
Okay then.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's still in the courts.
Okay. Give them an inch, they take a mile.
Right.
So you
That's
handed over some regulatory authority. They come back to challenge you to take the whole hog.
that's right. That's right. And you see, this is when a foreign company is involved
Okay.
in a vital infrastructure, because
Yeah.
they are using our own law against us.
Well,
You see?
in agreement, Pastor Victor, if we have law, they call them law lords. If we have on the two sides of this contention on this case, they must have some foothold, or they must have something that they're holding on to that makes them believe that they have a case.
Well, listen, this is where the Hawksbill Creek Agreement
Okay.
is being abused by
Okay, then.
foreigners. It's being abused.
Okay.
And this is where this agreement,
Mhm.
I guess, has emboldened them to believe. I'm convinced
Okay.
that based on what we know of the law and what others, we do have an attorney that's a part of our coalition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on what they know of the law and the Electricity Act, that especially what is taking place recently, that if you want to dispute Freeport, you cannot dispute West and East Grand Bahama
Understood.
Okay.
Understood.
because there may be a Hawksbill Creek agreement that has boundaries drawn up for and the city limits of Freeport, but
Right.
outside of Freeport,
Right.
that is supposed to be regulated
Yes.
by IRCA, no question asked.
Understood.
So if you take this to court,
Mhm.
how are you going to try to say, I'm the regulator for West Grand Bahama and I'm the regulator for East Grand Bahama? When-
1993. Let me read that date again. That would be the 23rd day of June. That's one of the agreements.
One of the agreements, I think the other one is in December, if I remember
No,
correctly.
August.
August, okay.
31st of August,
August.
1993.
Yeah.
So the two of these agreements were handing over regulatory authority, basically out of the hands of the government. This is the
that's-
height of foolishness.
Yeah, that's what they're using, but
Yeah.
the thing is, the reality is
Yeah.
that West and East Grand Bahama
Uh-huh.
is under IRCA. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
You see, and so you can dispute Freeport, but while you're disputing Freeport,
Uh-huh.
West and East Grand Bahama should be under IRCA. You
Okay.
see, and so I am hoping that there's some accelerated process that establishes that, because once that is established, it brings into question Freeport. Because if let's look at this simply, and I think it's always good to look at things simply. You're going to tell me that the police force is only the police force outside of Freeport? No.
Yeah, understood.
Are you going to tell me the immigration officers and the custom officers are
Right.
only the customs and immigration officers outside of Freeport? You can't do that.
Understood.
So if you can't do that, you can't tell
Right.
our government that IRCA can't regulate you.
Well, Pastor, right now, what need to be regulated is the hurt and the pain
Yes.
that Grand Bahamians are feeling,
Yeah.
greater than any other island from what we can see at this particular time. We're about to go to a break right now.
Yeah.
If you want to join us after, you can continue. I think Pastor Davis, you don't see him online, but I did speak with him.
Okay.
So please hold on with us after the break. And I want to mention something to you that I hope gives all of us hope, Pastor Victor, because this company operates in another country. And when we come back from the break, we're going to report on what that country, resorted to doing.
This
Okay.
is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We're having a very interesting discussion about what's happening in Grand Bahama with electricity, and so many different things haven't been signed. All of these are statute laws. And the question I keep asking myself, where does the Constitution fit in with the Hawksbill Creek Agreement and these other agreements that have been signed, which are totally in disarray and contradictory? This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. The lines are open, 326-0272, 813-0271. My special guest, Pastor Eddie Victor, and also Mr. Dwayne Hyland. This is Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. It's an exciting time on air today, listening to all these conflicting agreements that has been signed by different people. And this is the problem you have in our country where there is total confusion. And a lot of money, public money, is being wasted on trying to find out exactly what should have been said or what was said. All kind of contradictions. And I'm asking myself, where does the Constitution of the Bahamas fit into all of this? But we're going to have to look at that. Brother Hyler, go ahead.
Professor, I'm asking myself, are we ever going to know what it costs? What this is costing?
Yeah, but it's costing
the people.
us, yeah, that's another
The
thing.
Bahamian court case going
Yes.
back and forth, up and down.
Up and down, all over the place.
The London-based arbitration. What is the cost of that?
Yes.
Are we ever going to know what these costs are?
And
But-
everything is shut out from the media.
Right. So what I wanted to say for those that tuned in late, we have Pastor Eddie Victor of the Concerned Citizens
Yes.
Coalition, and we're talking about going back 2010, 2012. They
Yeah,
have
he
been
said
championing
2012,
this,
yes.
this cause.
You're looking
And-
at about 13 years. now.
yeah, and things seem to be coming to head. What I want to speak to before you continue, Pastor, is Emera operates in St. Lucia also.
Yes. That's a
Pastor,
good
laugh. You know just
Oh,
where
boy.
we're going with this. Pastor, it seems like they got a little tired also.
Yeah.
But the report, I'm reading the report. The Governor General in an address from the throne, just a throne speech, the Governor General of St. Lucia, Cyril Errol Charles, announced major reforms, including breaking Lucelec's monopoly on electricity generation. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
St. Lucia made the tough decision. We have to break the monopoly. And what they're saying is they could continue with the diesel power generation or whatnot. But when it comes to renewable power, any new company that is coming in, they will allow other companies to come in with renewable energy. So LNG, solar.
Very good. Very good.
You see how man, will we ever see that in the Bahamas? Will Grand Bahama ever see that?
Well. You know. I'm going to say this, and we have communicated this. While we fight this cause and seek to bring deliverance to the energy industry in
Yeah.
Grand Bahama,
Yes.
in your hands is the ability to put solar systems
Mm-hmm.
on your homes
Right.
and on your businesses.
Right.
The thing is with solar energy, the reality is that the upfront costs.
Right.
But we need to begin to think like that. For
Mhm.
instance, someone that builds a home now,
Mhm.
one of the things that now has become a standard is that you would put hurricane impact windows in your home. That's more of a standard now.
Right.
So you need to, if you're building a new home, you need to look at, well, I need to
Take a look at
I need to put solar energy system as a standard. Okay.
definitely.
And then what you've got to realize, the wonderful thing about solar energy, there's two things. When I set the system up, number one, I can add panels to my system.
Right.
So I don't have to buy all the panels at one time.
Exactly.
The other
You can
thing
scale
is
it. You can scale it up. You can
you
do
can
it. in
scale it,
stages.
you can measure it, you can put it, you can make a plan that you do it in stages. And then the other thing is that you can add your batteries to the
Well,
solar energy system.
Pastor, I got to interject there, Pastor. Did you know we are understanding from the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Mr. Hiram Lewis? We had interviewed him. We are
Uh-huh.
understanding from him that two of the solar plants, the solar farms in Grand Bahama,
Mhm.
do not have batteries.
Wow.
Pastor,
Wow. Wow.
Pastor, how much millions of dollars price tag was put on that system?
Now that is crazy, because this is the reality of when you put solar a
Yes.
system on your home. You will
Yes.
generate more power than you will ever need in that day.
Okay, then.
All right. So that's why you have the
You have to
batteries
store it in the batteries.
to
Yes.
capture that energy and to have it for your use during the nighttime.
The nighttime as well.
You see, this is why when I made mention about the firm solar power plant,
Yes.
that their plant, they generate electricity and they
Yes.
have a generator that
Yes.
would run at night. And the reason that they're using the generator is
Mhm.
because when you are dealing with not just residents but businesses
Right.
who may require a high capacity generation of electricity or have a high power demand, you
Right.
want to be able to deliver reliable power.
Yes.
And even in their plans, they would have plans to have batteries in place, but
Yes.
the batteries would not be relied upon for
Mm.
night generation. You see, but for a a a, a residential customer, business customer, man, you do your solar system in stages, add your panels as you can,
Yes.
add your batteries as you can,
Okay.
My goodness.
and go off the grid. Okay, that's what I'm saying. We need to, and that's within your hands and ability to do. So
Okay.
we are behind in this country in solar energy for the average consumer. So
Okay.
people need to be thinking like that. How
Yes.
can I generate my own
Own
electricity?
electricity. Well, once again, we are talking to Pastor Eddie Victor. Yes, so many years. You're still in the fight. Yesterday, Pastor Victor, I saw the video that you posted, and that's why I made a rush to make contact with you. I saw that video and almost couldn't believe my eye.
Yeah,
Pastor,
you have to see it yourself. I'm
Yeah.
serious.
listen, the building was full of persons. As you
Mhm.
said, I saw security on the porch outside of the building assisting clients.
Assistant
So
customers.
the building was full. The patio on the outside was full. You showed in the video, you showed the parking lot. The parking lot was full of cars.
Hmm.
Cars had difficulty coming from the main road and turning into the power company. And then there's a drive-through.
There's a drive-through line was full.
Drive-through line was full. Everything was booked out, as we
That's
would
right.
say.
That's
You
right.
couldn't even get in.
And there was a line of cars
Mhm.
leading into the entrance of the parking lot.
Wow.
They actually blocked traffic
Wow.
on the road known as East Atlantic Drive.
Wow. Well, that's why I call it big drama on Grand Bahama. And I mean, the internet was buzzing with
Oh yeah.
videos and everything. And hopefully this rises to a new level of advocacy. And that what happened yesterday, it cannot continue. I don't know, I don't want to insert too much at this particular point, but we understand that a lot of people would have been discouraged, hurt, monies that would have, we just went through
Yeah.
back to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just experienced back to school. So monies, there must be persons who are still not reconnected
Yeah.
because we were told that disconnections would cease. And to be fair to the power company, they did issue that apology. Now, as far as what is next, tell us what do you see next? What are the next steps?
What has to happen is that I think after all of these incidences with the power company over years,
Mhm.
from increasing rates to let me just tell you a couple of things. If you really go over this history, from increasing rates early on
Mhm.
and not understanding the economy of Grand Bahama,
Okay.
to where you all may have forgotten this, but the
Mhm.
power company on one day disconnected the electricity to every single government school in Grand Bahama.
What?
And
I
not only did they disconnect the electricity from all the government schools, they disconnected the wires from the pole.
Wow.
Pastor, we have a call on the line. Just hold on the line for us,
Wow.
please. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah, what you say, man? You in Grand Bahama?
Yeah, I was there right across the road from there. Notice only was for him himself. Only the Haitians not getting the work here in Grand Bahama.
Okay.
And our Port Authority is up for sale. They expressed that some months ago they were going to sell it. Right after the dilemma over, you know how to find me. I leave my number. Nice
Yes.
listening to you guys.
Okay. Okay, brother. Thank you.
We're gonna read some comments off of Facebook at this time, because we have about 10 more minutes, Pastor Victor. We really appreciate your time
Oh no,
today.
thank you for letting me be on your show.
Yes, and we thank you for the fight from the beginning. I mean, we're talking about
He said all the
years,
way back
over
from
10
19
years of
13 years now.
13 years
From
of
2013
dealing with this issue.
or 2012
Yes.
all the way back to where we are now. That's
Yeah.
13 years ago.
So we have Bain here on Facebook saying that the fuel surcharge is the reason for such a high increase. We're getting a double bill. We're paying for fuel as well as paying for the bill. We have Blossoms here saying, yes, straight up, that's correct. Again, Bahamians are paying for electricity and VAT is on top of that.
Yeah.
We have Kerry here saying that fuel is usually at least 2/3 of the bill, no matter what the price of fuel is. It's always more than electricity.
Yeah.
That's not so.
Okay. At least it shouldn't be.
No.
But we have here, they gave away BPL, but Bahamians are still paying for it. We have Pastor. You have backup here online, Pastor. We have Mrs. Victor saying,
Oh yeah. That's my treasure from heaven.
"Yay! Oh, you're blessed. You're blessed, Pastor." Saying a real government for the people would make serious investment to build a solar power plant so that every Bahamian would eventually never be without power.
Yes.
That's what Mrs.
Yes.
Victor.
Yeah.
Mrs. Victor is also saying it's sad to hear that we still need Europeans to decide our fate. I think that would have been in reference to the legal teams that are out of London in Nassau right now discussing the fate of Grand Bahama. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
We have Cassius saying if only ERCA grants licenses for one to supply electricity, then how is the Grand Bahama Port Authority to get regulators for the electricity, even in Grand Bahama? How do they now have the authority in Grand Bahama if ERCA is supposed to be the issuer of the license? So that's
a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Very
That's where
good
we
question,
find ourselves. So, Pastor, I have one for us today. Does ERCA need to go to the port and to the power company to get some authority? I mean, very serious.
If you look back, you look back over history. Not just our country, but in other countries.
Yes.
And one of the things you have to say to yourself, and this is where, talking about moving forward, the citizens, the private citizens, the people of this country need to unite together.
Okay, then.
Send a message.
Pastor,
right.
You need to say that again because I don't think they got it.
Okay, I'll say it again.
Please do.
The citizens of this nation needs to unite together and to send a message to our government and to every entity such as the Grand Bahama Power Company / America. And let them know that as citizens of this country, we're not putting up with this stuff anymore.
Amen.
And what has to happen? And this is to persons who are in the government. Government officials, elected officials, has to be willing not only to talk, but to take action.
Exactly.
Okay, then. Okay.
Amen.
All right.
To take action and stand up, even if it comes against what their party believes. because
Wow.
we need people in key places
Mhm.
to go and confront this power company and any system that puts our people in bondage.
Okay.
Our
Yes.
people our nation of people are in economic bondage,
Yes.
Wow.
and this economic bondage has to stop.
Mm.
And it means that you have to take radical change.
Yes,
Okay.
you
Right?
do.
Radical change. Now, I don't understand how even in our country we can say that the economy is doing better and the national debt keeps increasing.
Increasing.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
not an
right.
indication that you're doing better.
Yeah,
Understood.
That's an indication that you actually are doing worse. But
Yeah.
you have a smile on your face while you're doing worse.
That
You
doesn't
know,
make any sense.
and it doesn't make any sense at all.
Mm.
So we need persons who are gonna stand up, fight this system,
Mhm.
fight on behalf of the people.
Yes.
That their fight is not for political mileage.
Yes.
No,
Their,
it's
their
not.
Yes.
fight is not on based on how much they get paid.
Right.
The fight is because we have to fight for this generation and
Yes.
the next generation.
That's correct.
Yes.
We have to
Yes,
fight
sir.
so our people, our children, can live free of what we experience.
Yes.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and so the urgency is now. We need to do
Now.
it now.
Now.
We got to move now.
Yes,
And
sir.
so our people, we need to unite together. And when you come together, man, forget what party you belong to,
Mhm.
because politics is also a part of the problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
All right
It
then.
certainly is.
you
All
know,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
don't parade to me everything you're doing, but listen, we have to evolve to a
Yes.
place of great mutual respect.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
And when I say that, I might be PLP and you may be F&M, but if you're
Yes.
F&M and you got a good idea, I got to respect you.
Understood.
And
I agree.
vice
Yes.
versa,
Yes.
you know. But because we got good people who go
Mhm.
into politics, but
Okay.
the system doesn't allow them
System.
to
The system.
function the
Exactly.
way they need to function.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed. We've said on the show before, there are those, just repeating what you said in a sense,
Yeah.
there are those who go forward, good intentions, good plans, good people. But if you cannot say or do anything on behalf of the people without being an outcast or being put out, then what does that say? If you stand up for the people, because that's what Mr. Aaron Lewis, experienced.
Yes.
But full disclosure, we do have a call. I have to say
We have a
quickly
caller.
before we wrap up too. Full disclosure, Pastor, I do have a political involvement. That's not where I'm coming from. That's why I've not been on the air so much. So
Yeah.
I'm walking the line. That's not where I'm coming from. I
Right.
felt what you all felt yesterday.
Oh,
Something
amen.
stirred
Amen.
me up. I had to get up and do something. That's
Yeah.
why I'm here today. We're
Praise God.
gonna
Yeah,
take
but-
a call now.
Yeah, caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Hey, they cutting their ties. No country in the world that sell their airport and their harbor.
Hmm.
They cutting their ties. I'm telling you, they trying to find a way how to sell the port.
Hmm.
I got some underground information. They trying to cut loose the Grand Bahamian people.
That's amazing. Eh?
Okay.
That's important information. We
Well,
know.
we would like to have that.
I believe the government actually did make an offer, if I'm not mistaken, Pastor Victor. I believe the government had made an offer to purchase the port, but it was like the numbers were like night and day, far
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
Would the families feel like the port is worth and what the government is willing to pay? But I believe that needs to be revisited because it's almost like a ransom. That's how I feel, Pastor Victor. It's like a ransom to be paid. And the lives of Grand Bahamians, no amount of money is way too much to get you all the freedom that God has for you all.
I'm going to say this. All right.
Uh-huh.
I believe I'm a nationalist. I love my country.
Oh boy.
Right. I love my country.
You're
Just
in good
like God.
company.
Just
You're
like
good-
God.
You're
Just
in good
like God.
company. Yes.
So here's the thing though.
Yes.
Right. I don't believe the best thing for Grand Bahama and Freeport is for the government to purchase the Port Authority.
Okay.
I believe that you need to find
Uh-huh.
a investor
Mm-hmm.
that has a heart for Grand Bahama
Mm.
and wants to see things happen,
Mhm.
but is willing to work in partnership with the government.
Right.
partnership with the business licensees
Yeah.
and in partnership with the people.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood.
Here is why I say that, because we have too many examples of what happens when our government takes over anything. We have a Grand Lucayan
Yeah. Understood.
property.
Yeah.
We also have an airport.
Understood.
6 years after a hurricane, our
Yes.
airport has not been restored.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this had happened in Nassau,
Okay.
that airport would be up in 6 months.
Your point is clear, crystal clear as day. Our time is up for
Our
the
time
day.
is up. Pastor, we
Pastor
really
Victor.
appreciate. We're gonna have you come back on at each
Listen,
time.
Grand Bahama, you all hold on. Grand Bahama,
Amen.
the other
Yes.
island, hold on, be strong. God is still on the throne.
He certainly is.
Be encouraged.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't give in.
We're gonna have to close now because I had the
Yes.
music
Don't
coming
give
in
up.
my ears.
Don't give
getting
up.
louder
Help
and
is on
louder.
the way. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, Pastor.
Yes.
We're
To
gonna have
God be the glory.
another time.
Yes.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We are at the end of the show. Have a pleasant afternoon, and please pray for the safety of this country because we have problems that need to be solved. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Have a pleasant afternoon.